seeing some hands up. Oh, I'm seeing quite a lot of hands up. Yay, I'm very happy to see. Right, now, how many of you have given to something every single month?
It's Phoenix, Catherine.
Bianca, they've given what? Okay, I have another question. How many of you have a subscription to something? Look, guys, I'm seeing the hands are coming up. A Netflix subscription. Just go into your iPhone and go under subscriptions, and you'll see how many you've got going there. A nice filter app, paying them a couple of months, a couple of rands per month. So the idea of subscription and paying monthly, it's not new to us, guys. We know what it is. You pay for something and you get value in return. That's what it is. So we have got to adopt that same mindset within the NPO and organizational structure. How can that subscription mentality that people are so used to now, we do it all the time, but are we getting enough value in return for giving that subscription? Otherwise, what do? You cancel your subscription. Easy as that. Okay. So charities nowadays, they don't really struggle to get donations, but they struggle to get people to stay and give to them every single month. Okay. So they struggle to build people who are actually going to stay, a tribe, a community. So today, as you sit and listen to us team present to you, I want you to think of yourselves not as marketers, but you are builders of belonging. How can you help organizations build a tribe that want to belong to them? Not traditional marketing, builders of belonging. That's who you are today as you watch this. A brief introduction to all of us here. Catherine, I am one of the directors here at BackaBuddy. If we could just quickly go around the room and do an intro. Zane?
Sorry, trying to find my unmute. Hi, everybody. My name is Zane. I've been at BackaBuddy for 9 years, working in the marketing space and press department, and I've been lucky enough to join Donors for Life the last couple of months. I'll pass to Daniel.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel James Hall. I am the Learning Experience and Community Programs Manager. I haven't been here as long as Zane and the furniture has at the building, but I did work previously for 4 years at South Africa's biggest mental health NGO, SADAG, and we did a bit of a collab with BackaBuddy, and they decided to poach me, and it's been history since.
Go ahead, Rose.
Hi, guys. My name is Rose. I am a Charity Relationships Manager at BackaBuddy. I am based in Nairobi, Kenya. I have been with BackaBuddy since October, but we have worked collaboratively since 2020. So I am familiar with the team, and it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. Chad?
Thank you, Rose. I'm Chad. As per Catherine's description of me, I am the founder of PaySoft Impact. I've been in fundraising for 15 years and have specialized in recurring giving my whole life. To summarize, PaySoft Impact is just a payment processor, but my personal passion is in monthly giving for nonprofits, and every single one of our clients is a nonprofit. And our new biggest and best client is BackaBuddy, which is why I've hopped on board to help them achieve sustainability for the thousands of charities on their platform. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can come up with, and thanks for having me.
Guys, I'll just throw in a life lesson there. I know it's not a part of the curriculum. What do they say? If you want to go far, come on, Bianca, help me out here. It's that saying where if you want to go far, you go together. Yeah.
If you want to go far, go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's our heart and soul at BackaBuddy here. We work in partnership with other organizations that have other experiences. We go together, and then we get more, and we give more, and we add more value to the world. Not part of the curriculum. Guys, I'm going to hand over to Chad just to explain to you all why this monthly giving thing. Like, why can't you just help an organization get a once-off donation? What is the actual power behind this thing of getting somebody to join your tribe? Chad, if you could just take us through your thinking around this slide.
Thank you, Catherine. So the whole premise of a monthly contribution is that it's a one-time procurement in exchange for a tremendous lifetime value. So if you see the two lines at the bottom, the yellow and let's call it the darker line, I think it's like a off green or blue, those represent cyclical funding, which is basically, it means that you have to run a campaign every year to achieve the same or similar results. So you're expending the same resources, and year on year on year, you have to continue to spend those resources just to keep your benchmark. So you can see how the bottom two lines have plateaued. Now, in dramatic contrast to that, if you look at the middle gray line, which represents monthly giving, with the red one at the top obviously being the total. If you look at the monthly giving, it increases, I wouldn't say exponentially, but it increases steadily over time, and the plateau is a very gradual plateau when the organization starts to reach a critical mass. But most importantly, what you can take from this is that each and every year, from the same investment of both human and financial resources, the funding grows year on year on year, which means every year you're putting in the same amount of effort, and every year you have more revenue than the year before. And this is why monthly giving is so successful for nonprofits, because you're benefiting from donors that you procured in some cases 10, 15 years ago, and they're still giving to you. So I hope that helps the penny land for monthly giving. Am I carrying on, Catherine? Or you?
Thanks, Chad. Yes, exactly what Chad said, guys. Just, you know, sometimes that 200 Rand a month feels like a small thing, like, oh, I just got someone to sign 200 Rand a month. But let's look at that number, 100 donors, 200 Rand a month, 10 years, 2.4 million Rand. You are investing the time and effort to get that sign up. And it is going to pay off in the long run. I do also want to, while I've got Chad on the call here, because we may not be lucky enough to have him for the whole evening, Chad, I just want you to also explain to the class, I mean, we've explained to them now why recurring giving as opposed to once off, but I'd also love you to just explain to them why a debit order system, which is what we've integrated into BackaBuddy. And guys, the difference between credit card and debit and debit order system is on BackaBuddy, if you sign up to be a recurring donor, you put in your name and your bank account number. And that debit order is coming off your check account, not your credit card. And why is that? Why are we not saying to people, just use your credit card? That's fine. Chad, why have you built this product? Why is this what is best for organizations?
So the easiest way to explain this in an example is you go and do all this work and you sign up 100 donors for an organization. And as Catherine showed in the graphic, over 10 years, that'll generate 2.4 million. If you had to do the exact same equation with a credit card, most of those cards have expired after 2.4 years. They've all expired after 4 years. So what you'll have to do is start all over again. And you're going to have to do that every 4 years. So over a period of 40 years, you're going to have to run 10 campaigns. You're going to have to invest the resources 10 times over. Whereas with debit orders, they have the ability to run on an indefinite basis. We've got some clients who have donors who have been with them for 30 years plus. So debit order, it produces remarkably better results to procure debit orders, to the point where we actually encourage charities to only ask for a debit order, because the lifetime value is so great. It makes sense to invest in the donors who are going to be around for the longest possible time, which means asking them to contribute with the payment mechanism that has the ability to stand the test of time. And that's why we've always focused on debit orders for recurring giving. And South Africa's most successful nonprofits all rely on massive debit order campaigns as opposed to credit card for long-term sustainability. I hope that answers your question, Catherine.
Thanks so much. And guys, Chad's talking about one of his clients, the NSRI, the National Sea Rescue Institute, debit orders. Right, we're going to put a little bit of petrol on now because I know we don't have the whole evening and we've got quite a bit of jewels we want to share with you here. The main difference we want to bring across tonight is traditional fundraising. You donate to a charity, a one-time action. It's a transaction. Oh, yay, we got the money. We are talking about recurring giving, joining a community, a relationship, ongoing relationship, join a tribe, create a tribe. Subscription. I've just told you guys, you thought you weren't giving to something monthly, you thought about a charity. But in terms of products and service, we understand subscription very well. Creating a sense of belonging. That is the narrative that we use and that we teach organizations when we teach them recurring giving. So now, us as BackaBuddy, we've launched this product. We've got hundreds of organizations that have signed up. They all want to learn. We take them through a journey and we don't have enough time. Our intensive cohort is 13 odd weeks. Our peer-to-peer cohort is 6 weeks. We don't have time today to sit and teach you guys exactly how to do it. But I know that that's also part of the adventure. It's part of your assignment. You've got to go and figure this stuff out. But we're going to give you little pearls along the way of what we teach organizations. We've got a roadmap that we work with organizations. They've got to set a goal. You've got to create a tribe, write your story. What is your donor value proposition? What are you giving the donors for their money? What are they purchasing? Your landing page, what does it need to look like? Launch marketing, and then, of course, keeping your donors. So that's the roadmap we take them on. Fast forwarded. Now I'd like to hand over to Zane, who's going to talk about why is it important to set a goal and why must we help the organizations to set goals?
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Well, I think in terms of setting goals, it's obviously good to know where you're heading as an organization. So, for example, here's a campaign of a lady called Nani. She lives in Promised Land in Johannesburg. She feeds between 80 to 100 children every Sunday with very limited resources. So she works as a cleaner, and with the funds she gets, she manages to feed an entire community of people. So I know for Nani, she needs between 6,000 and 10,000 Rand a month. So we're looking at her goal. We're looking for maybe about 200 people, about 50 people. You can give 200 Rand a month, and then we know that she will be sustainable. So when you are speaking to the organization, find out what their needs are, and then kind of work backwards from there. And then, where you're heading. And then in terms of storytelling, I think storytelling is the most powerful tool in recurring giving. I'd say, like, arguably one of the most important things. That's what connects your cause to the actual donors. So in terms of the storytelling, it's good to have a personal anchor. So whether you're writing the story from a founder's perspective or a donor or beneficiary, it could even be from the perspective of a tree, for example. There are many different ways to frame the story, but it's good to have a personal anchor, personal information, and someone that donors can relate to. And then also with the story, you're telling the story of your organization, essentially. So how long the organization's been around, some key stats, including the value proposition. So what does a donor get when they belong to this community of yours, the impact you'll create with monthly giving, and then like to drive it home with a strong call to action and helping people find belonging in this community. So I think Nani really does describe storytelling in the best way. If you read her story, you know exactly who she is, you know where she lives, you know her personality, you know that she grew up in this community, and you see the real heart behind what she's doing. And everyone I have spoken to about Nani just falls in love with her real personal story. Like she mentions, a beautiful thing I always think about, that she started cooking at home when one child arrived that was very hungry and didn't have food. Then the next time he brought his sister, and then the next time that sister brought 3 friends, and how this grew into a grassroots feeding scheme. It's just just find those beautiful little moments that really illustrate the story and help donors really to connect with what you're doing. So I'm looking forward to reading all the stories. That's just a quick nutshell on goal setting and finding the emotion with your story. Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead,
And-
Daniel.
And just to add something, with Noni, like everyone at BackaBuddy knows her so well. Everyone in the intensive cohort knows her so well. But literally in my first week at BackaBuddy, I met the incredible Zane, who introduced me to Noni's campaign as something he was working on. And he shared it with me. Now, I'm not someone who needs much convincing to donate, but this was very different. I read Noni's story, and I really felt myself imagining what it would be like to be one of those kids. And then I saw the reality of her situation, and at the same time, how big her heart was. Like, with so little, she still chose to feed 100 children. And literally from that story and in that moment, I was sold. I signed up, I set my subscription, and with zero hesitation. And then to reiterate Zane's thing, that's exactly how powerful a story is. It puts you in the position of who you are donating to.
Thank you so much, Daniel and Zane, for sharing. Guys, in terms of this slide, what you need to take away from this slide is success looks different for different organizations. You cannot also go in, and I know Chad also feels passionately about this. You can't say to someone, oh, how much money do you want to get from this campaign? Oh, 1 million, 2 million, 10 million. We want millions. What do you need in order for your organization to be sustainable? Noni feeds over 200 kids, 200 kids in the community. What does she need? She needs just under 10,000. What does that equate to? How many 100 rand donors? Let's work it backwards. How many does she need per week? So you need to start with a goal, not because it's just just because that's you aiming to land there, but because you are letting the organization know in their mind, listen here, this is what we are working towards, and this is realistic. Chad, you could also speak to the realistic nature of sourcing recurring donations.
Catherine, recurring donations are the most valuable type of donation you could ever receive. They're also the most difficult to procure. So if I can leave something that you should probably all write down, it's that the goal setting is the most important part of understanding where you're going, that you can expect donations of an average of around 200 Rand per transaction. That's the average, between 170 and 235. And once you've clearly identified your goal and you know where you're headed in terms of Rand value, that's the last time you should think about the money. And after that, you should start to think about the people. Because if I know Noni needs 50 donors, all of a sudden, I know the average donation size, and now I can forget about the money and focus on getting 50 people to support Noni, who's also a person. So in your marketing efforts, once you've set your goal, then the numbers are done and you can focus on the people, and you're trying to sell a beautiful story, as Zane said, where it's very human. So you want to make it human and not marketing jargon. You want people to really feel Noni's story, and you want to welcome the donors as individuals into this community of people serving another person. I hope I made that clear, because I've seen campaigns go so well when they focus on the people and not on the money. But the money part has to be done beforehand, and you need peace of mind to know we need 200 people for this campaign. So the goal setting is so important, because it allows you to get that out the way, know where you're headed, and focus really on the human side of your storytelling and your value proposition and your sense of belonging to everybody that you want them to be part of the campaign.
Thank you, Chad. And guys, even though we haven't actually created a tribe name for Noni, I don't know if you noticed that, but I already feel a part of the tribe, almost Noni's tribe, because we're all rooting for her. But there's a big but here. She is also being mentored by Zane and taught how to give reports to her donors on the kids. It's basic. It's sharing rough photographs that she's taken with her phone that is not the latest iPhone, but that is enough for the donor to know the impact of their donations and to continue to root for her. Right, next we have donor tribe. So we've touched on goal setting and storytelling, which I believe Dr. Frost is going to talk to you about this evening in your lecture is storytelling. So we won't go into that a lot. We're going to talk now about donor tribe. Okay, we spoke about it earlier. This is not a transaction. This is an identity. You belong with these people. I saw a wonderful example on an animal website the other day where it said, we're looking for animal people, the best kind of people. Already you've got this feeling like, I'm an animal person. I'm the best kind of person. I want to be a part of those people. And we've got these micro tribes all over the place at the moment. You know, I'm a mom and I'm part of this little tribe at school that does the hockey, and I'm here and I'm here. But we have a desire to want to be a part of a community and to belong to a tribe. And I realize what I'm sharing with you here is very educational, but Rose has a much more fun way to share this principle with you.
Thanks, Catherine. So the concept of a tribe is something we are all familiar about, and I want to take a different perspective on how to explain it. Without even telling you guys to raise your hands, I'm pretty sure you know who Beyonce is and you know who Taylor Swift is. And something about these individuals is that they are popular musicians who have a tribe behind them. For example, for Taylor Swift, she calls her tribe the Swifties. For Beyonce, she calls her tribe the Beehives. And what is it, and why do we consider those people tribes? It's because they share something common other than liking this person's music. They connect with each other through what the music means, through emotions. I'll give an example, which I think you guys maybe have seen on social media. When the Swifties go for a Taylor Swift concert, you will see most probably 100% of them have bracelets on their hands, like this image over here. And the idea is that when they get there, these are called friendship bracelets, and they exchange it with each other. You exchange it with people you don't even know, but there's something that you have in common, and it's that identity that we love Taylor Swift. We love the message that she shares through her music. We love her performance, and we connect with each other through that way. Already, that is a tribe that has been created. The same thing happens at Beyonce's concerts. People can tell that I am part of the Beehive. And this concept of a tribe appears in different walks of life, even away from music. And it's the same concept we are talking about when it comes to organizations. So when we talk about tribes for organizations, the concept that we're talking about is the group of people who support and identify with this organization. They could identify with the organization in a personal way. They want to champion this organization. They want to talk about this organization with other people because they feel passionately about it. When it comes to a tribe, when they make donations to an organization, it's more than just a transaction. It's not me deciding that, you know what, I'm going to contribute 200 Rand and that's it. When they make a contribution, it's way more than just a transaction. It's feeling like they belong to this community. They want to learn more about how they're going to use their funds, how else they can support you. So when you talk about tribes, think of it also from that perspective. What do the Swifties do? What do the Beehives do? I can't think of any other tribe from any other musicians, but these are the popular ones that I know we can relate to. And that's what we do consider a tribe. Zane?
Thank you. Go, Zane.
I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Taylor Swift for a hot second. So, so just like with the tribes for charities, the Swifties are very diehard. So you're going to find people who are so passionate about your organization, they wear it like a badge of honor, they belong, and those people are so much more valuable than the one-off donors. The ones of people who are going to be diehard fans for you. So those are actually my arms and my partner's arms. I made them do like 200 friendship bracelets for when we went to Taylor Swift in the UK. But yeah, you want to find those people who are fanatic about what you're doing and they really are part of the family, they're part of your community. Thank you, Rose.
Zane, I love bringing. We have a couple of Zane's family members in this presentation, but we'll share that with you with you guys later. So, I mean, that's all we really need to share with you about what a tribe is. I think the penny's dropped, but just for educational purposes, we are going to show you a couple of charitable tribes and people that are doing really good jobs. I am sure everybody here knows Charity Water. If you don't, go and look at them, but they're a very extremely well-established nonprofit organization, and they've done it really well. They've created this the spring. So this is not somebody saying, give me $100 a month. This is somebody saying, are you joining a global movement that brings clean water to people that don't have clean water? So the concept is the spring. That's their tribe. You're part of something bigger. You're not donating monthly. You're becoming a part of the spring. They do a great job of also communicating impact. So you can actually go as far as to zoom into a map where you can see where the actual well is that you've contributed to. So you know where your impact is. You can see it. They show it, videos, GPS locations, photographs. They really do a great job of building a relationship with the people that are a part of the spring. We're going to fly through a couple of these examples. It's just to get the creative juices flowing. So I've given you now the spring. Rose, were you going to do 9 miles? Who was doing 9 miles?
So I'm going to jump in and speak about 9 miles. So 9 Miles is one of the organizations that is part of our Donors for Life intensive cohort. So this is one of the tribe identities that they created. So just to give you a bit of context on who 9 Miles is, they work with young people through surfing, mentorship, and community development. And the tribe name they came up with is Wave Makers. But what they didn't do is just ask for donations. They created this tribe. And this name is really so powerful because if you think about it, they work with the ocean and their name because a wave connects directly to the environment, the ocean, movement, and energy. Also in the name, when you see it with their logo, it's something that moves, it carries energy. And then you have the makers. That word gives the supporters a role, and that's so important. It speaks to action and the ownership and the change they can create. So it says you are not just supporting this work, you are actually creating this work by being a donor. So it's someone who creates movement, it's someone who drives change, it's someone who is part of something bigger than themselves. And that's why this name works so well.
Thank you, Daniel.
Pleasure.
Thanks, guys. Who doesn't want to be a wave maker? I mean, come on. Next, we've got Steps and Stride.
And that's my one. Thank you, Kath. Yeah, so Steps is a clubfoot organization that help children who experience clubfoot, and they chose Stride for their tribe name. And I think it's so beautiful too, like the alliteration. The word Stride has so much imagery behind it. For me, like it shows a child who's gone through the treatment and now they are walking with ease, they're walking confidently, and really symbolizes the journey that these children go through. Yeah, so I love alliteration. I love playing on the word of the organization. And in our intensive, this actually got the most votes. We asked all our charities to vote for the best one, and this really resonated. So when you're looking for tribe names, see where you can play on imagery, and yeah, just tell a story about a group of people trying to find that identity. Yeah, that's Steps and Stride.
I love From Steps to Stride. We support children born with clubfoot to stride into the future. I mean, it just makes so much sense, really. This example, I won't talk too long about, but I actually became a frontline supporter today for this organization. I recently was in hospital the other day, and I lay across the bed from somebody who's directly benefited from services offered in this particular area of GBV. And I was very moved by the story. And when I saw this campaign pop up today, I mean, we are working with them already, so I know about them, but just join the front line. It gave me goosebumps. We all get so angry when we hear of horrible stories, of gender-based violence and we want to do something, let's direct that anger into creating a tribe. And the visuals they've created here are so beautiful. The line of defense, they're standing there. They are there on the front line. They are helping these people. They are providing medical support, a place to stay. You name it. I can't do it. I work here at BackaBuddy, but I can join the front line. So another example of beautiful visuals speaking so powerfully to standing up for victims of gender-based violence. Join the pack. Who was this?
So this is a quick one I'll go through. So it's an organization called African Tales. They rescue and rehabilitate street dogs. And what they did was they called their tribe the Pack. And I really love this because it does three things which great tribe names do. It reflects the world of the organization, it creates belonging, and it gives people an identity. So when you see this, like, who doesn't want to be part of the pack? You have that belonging and you get that invitation. And what I really love, because I know we're running out of time, is that they didn't just leave it at the tribe name. They broke it down into like support into tiers. So you'll see on the screen, they've got badges: puppy badge, delta badge, beta badge, and alpha badge. So they created individual identities within the actual tribe name that you can belong to, which I thought was brilliant.
Thanks, Daniel. I want to hand over to Chad. Chad, some of the students might be thinking, all right, but what if there's like 100 join the packs or like 5,000 guardian angels? Like, how unique do I have to be in my tribe creation? How would you answer that question, Chad?
It doesn't have to be that unique. It just needs to work for you and your organization. If there's something similar, don't go looking for ones to copy. But if you come up with something brilliant and you find it elsewhere, don't slow down. If you back your concept you've come up with, sometimes it just tells you that it's a great concept if it exists somewhere else. Don't let that slow you down, because we've found tribe names that have already existed elsewhere, and that doesn't mean it can't be successful in your area. A lot of charities, almost all nonprofits, are location based. So if you can apply a strong concept to the charity and the charity's donors, considering most nonprofits already have a good database of donors, it can work for you in your own little silo. So don't be put off if you find something similar that's in another country or province or whatever it might be.
Thank you, Chad. And then the last example is We Commit. This is a bit of an outlier, so we really wanted to share this with you guys. Zane, or you or Daniel talking on We Commit?
That's me. Yeah, so this is from We Think Code, one of our organizations. I think the word is quite powerful. We commit. It works beautifully in a sentence, in a slogan. You can be like, we care, we commit. There's many different forms of that you can use. But what I found very cool about this one, and if you actually realize where it comes from, that really makes you buy into it. So I don't know coding, but apparently there's like a push command. You go commit underscore something, and something happens. It's like a little nod to the community of donors who most likely support this campaign, which are coders. So for the public, it's like, we commit, we care about this thing, like a normal kind of sentence. But for the people who are in on the message, who do coding, it's even more powerful, and it's hard their cause, and I think it's pretty cute. And again, I like alliteration. We think code, we commit, very similar. It's very lyrical. And I think it's quite a cute one.
Thanks, Zane. Chad?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that in terms of how specific you can get to your donors and understanding who your donors are. So if you try and reach everybody, sometimes you reach nobody. So this campaign, basically, if you don't know coding, you're not going to get it. None of us got it in the beginning. Then they explained to us that who are their donors? Their donors are people who've been through their program. They're people who are in the tech space in the software space and they'll get it. And sometimes you can have better results of targeting a specific group that say, these are our donors. Like what Catherine said earlier, we want animal people. They're the best people because they'll donate to us. And this is a risk. It's a huge risk to do something that maybe 4% of the population, if not less, will understand. But they say, you know what, that 4% are our donors, and we're going to do something that's going to appeal to them. And those who don't get it probably aren't going to donate to a software-based, educational nonprofit in any case. So bugger it, we're going with We Commit. And I think it's a stroke of genius to focus on small groups that have a high probability to donate to you. So don't be scared to go a little bit out there and try and speak to the people who want to donate to that charity and not try just catch anybody. So in this scenario, man with big net may catch no fish.
Chad, I love that example because, guys, there's something cool about exclusivity as well. Sometimes you want to be an exclusive tribe. Sometimes it's fun if only you and your mates get something. So I think we, as Chad said, let's not steer away from being bold and brave in these spaces. And I also think they've made such a bold move, and we're excited to work alongside them to figure out how are we going to target this particular niche. But when the penny dropped in terms of who they were really speaking to, coders, it was like, wow, this is really, really cool. Now I'm going to hand over to Rose. Guys, we're not much longer. We're almost done. Rose is going to shoot us through the value prop. This is exceptionally important. You've got a subscription. You want something in return. What are you getting in return for the money that you are giving? Rose.
Thanks, Catherine. I actually want to collaborate with Chad because I feel like Chad explains value proposition so well. But to basically explain what value proposition is, why will the donor say yes? Why will the donor want to join that tribe? Why will the donor want to contribute to that campaign? Why would they want to be willing to make that donation every single month? Chad, do you want to add more on value proposition? Donor proposition.
Yeah, just that your value proposition is important for different types of donors. So everything you've seen so far has been centered around a story and a message, and it's more emotional. And your emotional donors are your low-hanging fruit. They're the donors who sign up, like Daniel and Catherine, on the spot. And then a lot of donors want to understand more about where the money goes, what impact you're having, and that's where the value proposition starts to become important.
Catherine, I want to go back to a slide where it shows Netflix, because this is a good example. We said recurring donations are very similar to a subscription. When you land on the Netflix page, it automatically in white bold letters says unlimited movies, TV shows, and more. From that sentence already you are captured and you want to subscribe, because the word unlimited already just captures your attention. And once I subscribe, I'm going to have access to as many movies, as many shows, as many cartoons, anything that you want to watch. And being able to bring that visibility onto a website that you have as an organization allows people to automatically want to say, you know what, I do want to subscribe to this recurring donation. As Chad said, there are different ways in which you can capture someone's attention. Every single individual is different. Some people are emotional and find that an emotional pull is what makes them want to make a donation. I have found myself scrolling on TikTok at God knows what time in the evening, and I come across a campaign of somebody who is sharing their story, and I feel very emotional about it. And I quickly run, get my card, and I make a donation. For me, something that is emotional pulls me to want to contribute. And it's important for you to understand that there are different people who are encouraged to contribute for different reasons. Another reason why someone would want to contribute is because they have seen the impact. If you show someone the impact of what you have been able to do, they will want to be part of this tribe. Giving this image as an example, you can imagine a website where people are showing the different countries that they're located in. They're showing the number of people that they've been able to support. It is showing the impact of what they've been able to do so far. And sometimes what people do is that they say, I have a bit of FOMO. I want to be part of this group of people who are making donations that are really bringing in an impact. So again, are we able to showcase our website in a way that we capture people who value impact? Are we able to capture people who find value in emotion? Another angle you can also take is people who want to get something out of their donation. And these things could be tangible or non-tangible. So some people maybe want a branded t-shirt. Some people maybe want to be part of an exclusive webinar that you normally have, you know, and other tangible things are also like non-tangible items. So again, this is based per organization. It's important for an organization to look at the people that interact with their community and their website. And it's important for the organization to ask themselves, what would my community or my supporters find value in? Because it wouldn't make any sense to offer t-shirts or branded hats, and yet they don't find value in that. So again, it depends on who you know will come to your platform. And if you're able to offer those three on your website, if people are able to connect through emotion, through impact, or through something they're able to receive, then you've captured even a bigger group of people who would be willing to contribute and join your tribe.
Thank you so much, Rose. I also just wanted to go back for a second. There's something very important here. When you go to Netflix and you're tired of Netflix, you want to try Apple TV now, you cancel, and that's it. The day of debit order, let's trap people into a donation and they're never going to know how to cancel it again. And, oh, I'm never signing a debit order because you can never stop those things. That is not what we are talking about here. This integration with BackaBuddy and PaySoft Impact. You get an account, you log in, there's a button that says cancel. Done. Canceling is easy on BackaBuddy. We are not trapping people into anything. This is a subscription. You are donating, you are choosing to donate, and we're going to help these organizations to give value as well. So just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that this is not the old-fashioned way of, oh, I'm never signing a debit order because you can never stop those things. Not the case when it comes to the BackaBuddy and PaySoft Impact and helping organizations. We want these tribe members to be there because they want to be there. Guys, after you've done your donor value proposition, you're going to get a landing page. So when you reach that stage with your organization's journey, you're going to get a landing page and a campaign page on BackaBuddy. And I'm going to hand over to Daniel and Rose that are just going to explain to you what before I do that, Chad
has to go.
Thank you so much, Chad.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, BackaBuddy team. That was awesome. I appreciate it. Enjoy. Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chad.
We love Chad. Comes with so much experience. Rose and Daniel, first to you in terms of a landing page, how is that different from a website? Like our charity's got a website. What's this landing page story now? Why do they have to do it?
Perfect. So I'm not going to go too deep into this because we could have 4 or 5 follow-up sessions where we could be unpacking everything that a landing page should have. But essentially, when, like Chad mentioned it briefly ago, like when I land on a donation or a story, I'm sold. But there's a lot of people that aren't, and they have questions. So personally, when I'm buying something from Takealot, I go read all the reviews before making that purchase. And essentially, what your landing page is the home of your recurring giving campaign. It's where donors who want to understand more about it, want to learn where the impact's going and how their support work, that's where they land. So often organizations lose people or lose the momentum at this stage because they'll send them to some random homepage or a donate page or somewhere that's confusing. And that's where the momentum's gone. They're curious and they want to know more and why they should sign up. That's why we have a recurring giving landing page. It's essentially, you want to learn more, here's where you do it. And there's like kind of 3 simple questions that they should be answered in this page. It is, what is this? Can I trust it? And why should I join? And essentially your landing page should answer all 3 of these in the right order. Because without it, you're asking people to make a decision without allowing them to have the confidence to do it. But a landing page gives them that confidence.
Thank you,
And
Chad.
also to add what Daniel has said is, by the time I want to make a recurring donation of 100 Rand, 200 Rand, or 300 Rand, and let's say it's my first time interacting with this organization, I truly want to understand everything about this organization, and the landing page allows you to share that information. One page with all the information about the organization, the tribe, and this is where you really have the opportunity to convert an individual into a tribe member. However, after they learn more about the organization and now they are committed and they want to make a donation, they need to head somewhere to make the actual donation. And this is where BackaBuddy comes in on top of everything else. They will have a BackaBuddy campaign page. And this campaign is specifically a campaign where they will click on the Give Monthly button. Maybe, Catherine, you can circle it with a mouse, the Give Monthly button. And once they click on that button, they're redirected somewhere where they can make an actual donation. So if you look at this, there are a couple of elements of a BackaBuddy campaign page. You're able to see the people behind the campaign, the front line. You're able to see the name of the campaign. There's also a part where you can add the campaign story. So in case somebody didn't read much about the organization on the landing page, they can come and do it here. But also you get to see the tribe. You get to see the tribe and the impact they've made because the donations are visible on this page as well. So the campaign page is different from the landing page, but they are connected. Landing page offers information. The campaign page is where now somebody comes and makes that difference and initiates their donation on this page.
And sorry, just to jump in there, something that's so valuable about, or it's done so well with BackaBuddy's campaign pages. And I know Zane, if we let him loose on this, he would speak to about 45 minutes of it. But when you land on this page, you see everyone. You see everyone's donation, everyone's message, and it's kind of like the metaphor, like first on the dance floor, no one wants to be it. So these are called like, this is where social proof is built, and you see everyone, and then you want to be. Sorry, I might have jumped ahead there. My apologies. But yes, that is one thing. Being able to see what people are doing, you then join.
Thanks, Daniel. And guys, this is also the unique way in which we work with PaySoft Impact. This is social proof. So this is not a debit order where your name goes into the back of a system somewhere. Your name is there. It's visible. You can see who's in your community. It's for everyone to see. Social proof. So that's our campaign page. Guys, I'm literally flying through the last slides. Basically, you know, before you launch a campaign, you've got to make sure all your ducks in a row. How are you going to get the campaign out there? How are we going to get that support? Just enjoy this for a second. That is literally Zane's uncle. Okay. That is literally Zane's uncle Clive. For years and years, we have been talking about the importance of seed donations and no one wanting to be the first on the dance floor. We've now got a visual for that. You cannot share your campaign if there is nobody on it. No one is going to want to be. There's only a few special Uncle Clives out there that are going to get on that dance floor before everybody else. You have to share it with your close family and friends and networks before you send it anywhere. Otherwise, it will not get traction. You've got 10 years of experience. I can tell you every single time it failed when you share it on zero. So that is something very important to share. Guys, we're going to end off now. I told Bianca in the beginning that I don't know if we're going to have enough content to fill time, but it seems we have. We're going to close off with a story that Daniel is going to share. And the crux of it is the most important element. You can forget everything that we've told you today, everything. If whoever is behind this campaign believes in it, this will work. So to close off, Daniel, could you please share an example of where this really comes to the fore?
I definitely can. So as Catherine mentioned, to end off today, like everything we've spoken about comes down to one thing. It's belief. There's a lovely lady named Estelle. She runs an organization called Underdogs, where she rescues and rehabilitates pit bulls. When she first started, she had no website, no fundraising systems, no marketing team, absolutely nothing. The only thing she had was belief in her work and belief in recurring giving. So what did she do? Is every single time she spoke to someone, she didn't ask, would you like to donate? Instead, she asked, well, she carried around a little form or a widget, eventually like an electronic one. And she said, would you consider supporting this work monthly? And she didn't do it once. She did it over and over and over again. And to this day, she now has over 100 monthly donors. Her organization is covered. She gets to focus now truly on what matters most to her, which is the pit bulls and saving them. And that's the point. Recurring giving doesn't start with systems. It doesn't start with strategy. It starts with belief. Because when you truly believe in the work, you stop asking for money and you start inviting people to stand with you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. We love the story of Estelle. She also had Chad's telephone number and said, help. But guys, that's the end of our presentation today. I'd love to know who you want to give to, which tribe we spoke about that tugged on your heartstrings. Dr. Frost, I don't know if there's any time for questions or if you want to kick us out already and get to your storytelling module.
Yeah, so can I just, can you hear me? I'm in the corner.
Yes.
Yes.
So I actually didn't have your slides. I didn't know what you were going to speak about, but I changed my, because of the purpose of the class, I changed what we were going to do tonight. And you'll see there's a lot of overlap in what we're going to do and the stuff that you've spoken about. So to bring that theory to life, it was really nice. And I really hope that they were listening to what you had to say, because a lot of this is going to come through from the assignments. And I think this is probably the most valuable session they could have had in terms of just the many things you spoke about. So I really hope they were taking notes, because you said some very valuable nuggets in your talks. And thank you so much for taking the time to share with us. Is there anyone who has like a very pressing question? I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But there's a possibility that one of them might join us for your presentations next week. All right. So, okay. So if you've got, yes. The general length of a campaign for NPS? The general length of a campaign? Did you get that?
Zane, you can answer that.
Yeah. Or in story length, if we're talking story length, I'll do between half a page to 3/4 of a page. You don't want to get people too much to read, but something short, punchy, emotive, inspiring. I think that is kind of the best thing to do. You also don't want people to like read too long. You want them to get the message and then click on a donate button. So I'll do your half page to 3/4 of a page.
Rose?
And also, when you're writing your page, you have to remember that sometimes people don't have the patience to read the whole story. So if you're able to capture their attention in the beginning, that's lovely. Find a way to write a story that captures their attention and pushes them or encourages them to want to read more and learn more. And that is what allows you to be able to have them go through the whole story and understand what the organization truly is about and why the campaign is important to them.
And I've got a quick tip as well that Zane often does. It works every time. If you can make sure that you create a visual or an emotional pull straight away or somewhat close. So Noni, for example, in the story, it says that the little boy walks to her house holding the hand of his smaller brother. Immediately, I can see the little boy holding his brother's hand. Or a little quote. Zane also often adds this into his stories. The little child said to Noni, you don't have to give me anything for carrying your groceries because I know that you feed us every week, Mama. Thank you. A quote. All of a sudden, I've read it, I've heard it through my ears, and I've heard it through a voice. So none of this sort of big organization talk, which I'm sure will come across in storytelling as well.
Yeah, maybe it's just on tone. It's also like you're writing to an individual person. So like you're writing like corporate writing or proposal writing. Like I always think of it like an open letter. And then also in terms of supporting the story, your visuals and your video as well, like are a really powerful tool to enhance that story. So if you keep the story, shortish, but supported with beautiful visuals and a nice video that's maybe like a minute long, those three things together really support the story.
Catherine, I just want to ask, have you set up with Sean yet or not? So if they're pitching?
Amy, we haven't set up with them. Daniel can speak to it. We've only had a welcome session last week. We've met Amy, we've met Sean, but we haven't, nothing else. It's just been a hello, welcome everyone sort of thing.
Okay, so they're just going to pitch their campaigns according to what they have. We're not going to follow through at this point. Just wanted to check where you're at.
We are very happy to work alongside you, Bianca. I've told Daniel and the team and Zane that this is a particular project for the University of Pretoria, and we will be guided by your instruction. Obviously, we won't ignore Amy, but we will make sure that you are in the loop with everything we do around that campaign before we action anything.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to let them go. If there's something very urgent, you can send me an email and I'll get back to the team. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do this whole thing, but anyway, so just say goodbye. Woo! Birthday. Hey. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
Guys, thank you so much. We love it. We can't wait to see the campaign.
There we go. Thanks so much.
Bye, Bianca. We'll kick you off here. How do we do this?
Bye.
Remove from call.
All right.
Oh, there we are. Oh, that was